I like where this is going. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm tired. I just got off the treadmill. I'm tired. I slipped. I twisted my ankle a little bit, but I'm okay, but I'm tired. It's also hot, but I have my AC on for that. So, if you look right there, right next to my little cute cow face, we've already dropped some frames in the first 4 minutes that this stream has been alive. That is not good, and the reason for that, I'm assuming, has to do with they texted me, and by they I mean Comcast, texted me saying that there was an outage in my area. They texted me an hour later saying they fixed it. Did they fix it? Based on what I'm looking right over there, no, it did not. I completely forgot Ace Attorney is today now. Yeah, I had to look at my own schedule being like, it's not Age of Empires today, it's Ace Attorney today, right? So yeah, we're back to Ace Attorney, and we are depressed. It didn't sink in what happened the last time I played this, but Gregson is dead. Gregson is literally dead. We are in the room where he died. We no longer have Gregson. How in the actual fuck could anyone allow this to happen? I mean, I know he's not a main character, but god damn it, he was a main character to me. That it'd be the equivalent of killing off Gumshoe, and the closest they've been off to killing off Gumshoe is when he got into a car crash. And then the phone that we had the phone call we had with him is completely cut off. But they didn't kill him. No, here they're like, nah, Gregson was killed by Van Zieks, huh? What? Why? Why would you do that? I swear to God, this game is like, what is it? It's like Cyberpunk, Edgerunner specifically. Do not get attached to the characters, because if you do, your heart's gonna be torn asunder. Fuck you, Capcom. That's all I'm gonna say. Fuck you, Capcom. Anyway, let's continue onward. We're in case 4. We've lost the Gregson, as per note of this freaking thing. And what were we doing? Were we gonna present stuff to her? Or did we do that already? Let me just... Yeah, no, we did that already. Okay. So, I don't know if there's anything else that we can do here. This place is thick with dust, isn't it? And there's such a chill in here, too. Man, I could go for some more chilled. Anyway, let's go to the prison, I guess. The prison where the defendant, Lord Van Zieks, is being held. That is not a sentence I thought I'd read. I really thought they were not going to give us the Edgeworth case in this second Ace Attorney game. Because if they were going to do an Edgeworth-style case, they would have did it in the first game. I don't know. I thought, we're in the clear now. Nope. It's quiet and the light from the candle is dim, but there's little chance of sleeping. Lord Van Zieks has been arrested! What on earth is happening? I don't know, man. And he's just chilling on a chair, reading by the candlelight. Zieks, man. There he is, Lord Van Zieks behind bars. Not a sentence I thought I'd utter today. So it's true, he really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zieks! The fuck, bro? Fancy meeting you here. Kept you waiting, huh? The last place on Earth I'd like to be, with the last person on Earth I'd like to see. Oh my god. Be thankful I'm at least coming over here, because I get the strange feeling that not one single defense lawyer is going to be interested in defending the Reaper on a case like this. What does this feel like? A familiar scene. I could very well not come. Poe reference? Hell yeah. Isn't Pomu gone, though? It's just Metal Gear at this point. We heard what happened, that Inspector Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. Buddy. Buddy. Forgive me, Lord Van Zieks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. Also, Mika's coming back, probably. Oh? Oh yeah, Madara had a second guest, whose name I completely forgot. That'd be interesting. I do miss Mika a lot. She was like one of those diamond in the rough you'd like them from Nichi Sanji. You must help us with our investigations, please. Honestly, I wish I could collab with any one of those people. Wouldn't it be fun to have a little tiny cow sitting on top of ghost or a bug or whatever the heck Mika's gonna be, whose name I can't remember right now because it's completely escaping my brain. There's really nothing I can tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? Why would he have that? This? The yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with the suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Would it happen to be Hairbrain? Oh, who might that be? Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Hairbrain, so I was right. Of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university. And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zieks never minces his words. But they seem to have less bite than usual somehow. It's probably because he's behind bars. Well, let's chat, man. What the fuck happened? Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zieks? What happened? How much do you already know? Fuck all. We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street, and that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested, which is really strange. Because unless they saw him holding the gun, there's no reason to be arresting the Reaper of the Bailey. We were told that there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot. Then you're well informed. What? That's not it. And there's really nothing I can add. What the fuck? The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. What? But the gunshot obviously didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. Okay, well that answers that. I also heard the noise, however. Before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So he doesn't actually know what happened. Oh, that's strange. If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. I mean, I wish you would. After all, you're not representing me. Oh. He is gonna need a lawyer, though, and I don't imagine anyone's gonna be too willing to help him out. About your defense, though. Who's gonna be representing you in court, Lord Van Zieks? Don't you dare anyone other than you, I should imagine, you bitch. Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet? Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know, and I was right. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. 19? Wow. It's not Von Karma's whole perfect record thing, but also Van Zieks never cared about a perfect record. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Oh boy. You know, when you put it into perspective like that... So literally the only 3 who haven't died are... Hairbrain for 1, Gina Lestrade for 2, and Mr. Natsumi for 3. Surely not! I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. You didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. This guy is really just counting his deathbed right now. Or he's counting his last flower petals. What does he mean by that? He thinks he's dead, man! He thinks he's dead. Hairbrain's letter, though. After the trial, Professor Hairbrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? You think? Yes, so it seems. Hi, Zoe. Hi. Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yeah, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. Lucky bastard. So Professor Hairbrain is safely back in Germany now. Go make a chronosphere, Hairbrain. Do it. He is. So, it appears our conversation has run dry. Can I defend you, though? There was a 2-second silence, that's all. Well, in any event, if you excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Van Zieks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. What, are you surprised? You trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just, my feelings can't be used as evidence in court of law, sadly. I mean, imagine if they could, though. It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one. Bruh. What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese. Really? But please! Right? Right, Zoe? I have no intention of engaging your services. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. You good down there, Zoe? Yeah? What's the matter? My cat's on the floor just having a meows away. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time. But I wanna waste my time on you, Zieks. You're my friend. Well, technically he's not my friend, but you're my friend. In war. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. My God, Zoe, you're crying like you're dying. Where the hell did you go? You're not even near me. You're just meowing behind me. Okay, so we can't talk to Zieks, which means we gotta go back to the Fresno Street room, because there's nothing else we're gonna figure out right now. Gina, no, can we go, like, outside the room at all? Yeah, I hear you, Zoe, I hear you, but you're not really saying much of anything. Zoe, what the heck? Okay, we're not gonna figure out anything in this room, then. Unless Gina, like, wants to be presented with stuff, in which case, hey, maybe she might be wanting presented with stuff? Nah, she's still not interested. Okay, so next choice. Sholmes? Or maybe... Wait, no, this guy's not gonna talk to us anymore. Waterloo Hotel? Is anybody here? Anybody want to speak to me? Mikotoba, perhaps? What is the matter, Zoe? Come here. Come here. She won't let me grab her. Professor Mikotoba is obviously trying to relax on the settee there. Father's only just arrived from a voyage, and tomorrow he will speak at an important symposium that will garner the attention of the whole world. He needs a little peace and quiet now. I was just about to think that. Pardon? It's one thing reading my thoughts, but at least let me have them first. Oh dear. Perhaps my brain works too quickly. Okay, so we can't talk to Mikotoba. How about Lord Chief Justice before I go to Sholmes? Oh? I mean, there's also the possibility that Strongheart could, like, order, Zieks to be defended by us. I don't know. You've made good time. I took an express train back to London. Who are you talking to? I can hear Lord Strongheart, can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Huh? Cosima, the fuck are you doing here? Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. It's Cosima-sama! Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Yeah, but I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zieks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson, of all people. I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zieks for this crime, but if that happens, you lose your Reaper. You must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective. Oh no, surely not! It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. And at the very least, though, we can show the world that our justice system's swift and equitable process. Equitable? So does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Right, you. Cosima. What is going on with this one? Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings. Leading the prosecution. You have got to be fucking kidding me right now. I would have been so much happier if they managed to bring, like, someone else on super short notice, but... Really? It has to be Cosima? Wait. What? Cosima? As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law. Yeah, but a defense attorney. Cosima-sama? A prosecutor? Dude, can we not have you as... Why does that feel terrifying? I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, people all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey, and now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. Mysterio deaths. Lord Van Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least until now. No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. Sure. What about this prosecutor Asogi man? So, Cosima will be prosecuting tomorrow? That's right. But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution and other strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. I've no doubt at all that Cosm will be razor sharp as a prosecutor, and that is terrifying to think about. You know how I was wondering when I was gonna fight the Von Karma of the universe for Ace Attorney 1 and 2? Where I would just get my ass handed to me left and right? Because while Van Zieks has been very impressive, he's not, like, objection, 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 objection. He hasn't been doing that to me. But why Kazuma-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial. You motherfucker. You asked for this? But why? It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? I would love to, but he said no. Although the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact. Good call-outs. Good call-outs. Good call-outs. You're quite right, Miss Mukotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. He's not wrong. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution. Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months. Why are you fucking so serious about this, though? Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. Dude, the fuck? Oh yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zieks, though? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Gina? Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know. That's right. Mr. Naruhodo, be direct. It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine. So, does that mean Cosmo's gonna get a gun? In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim. No, Gregson had his gun on his person. Well, that... What about Lord Van Zieks? He claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious. But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it's actually his. Where are the fingerprints? No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zieks. And then meanwhile, we have literally Kazuma back there, who we can actually examine. I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now. Has your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do. Huh. But what was it? Right. Kazuma-sama! I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. Though I was really certain he was dead. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia? It was the voice. Huh? This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Be one with Yuri. Go to London, that's where your destiny awaits, damn. It was that voice that guided me here to London. I'm so sorry for what's happened. Anyway, my memory might have returned to me. There's something that won't return to the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Guess that settles that. Doesn't look like we're gonna glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery. But I feel like I'm the only one who can stand a chance against Kazuma. Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Oh god, that's new. Before you go, Ryunosuke. Oh? What is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you. Oh? So he's not a big dick. Kazuma-sama, what? You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection. You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here, which we never... We still need an answer for that. Oh! I actually have a favor to ask. Which is... This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense counsel. I mean, I would love that, but literally, Lord Van Zieks is saying no. Why? What's all this about? I know you have what it takes. But Lord Van Zieks would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does? It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. Whoa. That's Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson, but who's the guy in the middle? In a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of... Actually, wait, Zieks is the one in the middle. Who's the one on the left? And who's the third person? It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Greggy! Yes, what I'm trying to say is if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. An old photographic print displayed rather prominently in Inspector Gregson's office, as if it was a treasured memory. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? He knows shit, and we don't know anything. But thanks, I guess. We go into the prison real quick because we don't have a chance. Hey, Zieks, man! We gotta chat mano a mano. Lord Van Zieks is still reading that letter. Can't be that enthralling, can it? We've been gone quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting nippity. That's a great... Perfect. Oh, sorry, I didn't think you'd hear that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you. In other words, no. We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided. I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's gonna be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi! That made the color drain from his face. He flinched hard on that one. Well then. It seems I'm gonna have to engage in conversation with you again after all. So sad about this. I guess we'll chat then. 10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of the prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name of Sogi. I don't blame him. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father. So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court? Oh, jeez. I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. I was trying to avoid making that joke because I haven't played Genshin Impact, but yeah, Genshin Impact. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. But what could he have been hoping to achieve? And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that? Nah. Nah. I'm gonna get that memory. I'm gonna get that little, that idea out of my head. There's no way. There's absolutely fucking no way. Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese. Right. Your hatred of all of us Japanese. The Nipponese bane. Damn, Genshin definitely impacted Van Zieks' family. Wow, that's a really good one. I'm gonna give you that one. That deserves a clap. Now I can't get this stupid idea out of my head about this entire case. I mean, we'll see. We will see. I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer, the so-called professor. Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi? Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. Literally, how would you ever see the nature of that man? He literally murdered people with a dog, for God's sakes. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. Oh, how awful. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented. What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor? The man in charge of the professor case inquiry. Lord Male Strongheart. What? Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Interesting. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I felt indebted. I'm sure you must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? Ah. And of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred had festered inside me. I could no longer control it. And I can understand why. Now I know the history. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi I am the bane of his, the reaper who sent his father to the gallows. Ooh. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, man. Gregson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. But he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh, yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? Yeah, how do you forget that? You don't forget that. I wonder, does it happen often, being transferred internationally, I mean? It's the first time I've ever encountered it. Oh. The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. It sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would have never been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy. Oh my, 10 years ago! Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. Really? And my brother was, of course, a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful convictions somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So, you must have had a great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life. I don't have confidence in anyone. 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. Thanks, Zeke. Thanks. And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London. Oh man, if only you knew. What really went on between Lord Van Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? Gee, what do we even call it? About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Ah, yes, that's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that? That it's not yours? Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That, I don't know. Well, that doesn't help, but okay. I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps. Wow, Zieks. You have something in common with Lord Van Zieks after all, Mr. Narholdo. A talent for misplacing things. Shut the hell up. No, this has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this nippity. Are you sure? Are you sure? Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it? So it's not decisive evidence, clearly, but it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Alright. Oh, it's so funny. Anyway, I want to look at this picture real quick. Got Gregson on the left. Middle is Zieks. And left... Is that Strongheart on the left? That can't be right. Lord Van Zieks, we came by this old photograph. Where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. Man, he looked good. That confidence, though. The person on the left is Lord Clint Van Zieks. It had to be, really. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know? Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense. No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less. Did she tell us that? I didn't go visit Gina, so I have no idea. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, an insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. The softy of the Bailey? Mr. Gnarled. Don't ever call me that. Never call me like that. Oh, that's the first time he's ever used my actual name. I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. Lord Van Zieks? Is this love? Love at first courtroom? From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. Ha! He said it, not me. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother Clint and Genshin Asogi. The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous ways. Talk about night and day. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? Back then I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I looked to the future of hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. So, Mr. Naruhodo. He called to me again. I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me? Yes! Of course I will. It would be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo. And my life is in your hands. Damn. For Lord Van Zieks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow in the Old Bailey against my old friend, Kazuma. You bitch. I didn't even know I could share this picture to Gina. I don't think I would have missed anything then if that's the case, because I sure as hell didn't talk to Gina. Bow, 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 bow. Trial part 1, aw man. The 2nd of November, 8:56 a.m. The Old Bailey. Defendant's fucking antechambers. There's that old familiar feeling again. The crushing pressure of this historic courthouse, and the fact we're gonna have a crushing pressure of Van Zieks on trial. Actually, no. It's a little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air. There is a menacing tension in the air today, isn't there? I suppose. Yes, I think so. Hi. It can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant. A little more courtesy, if you please. Oh my, I do apologize. However, you're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary. What do you mean? I'm not privy to the details, however, I understand that no jury has been selected. What? A trial without a jury? Well, that's just like the trial of the professor 10 years ago. Closed court? Oh no. Hi, Sholmes! Good morning, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes! Hey, he got his hair back. Have you made note of my hair, Mr. Naruto? An art-right victory for science, you must agree. To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. Ha! What to one man is a little hair problem is to another a day of drinking dubious potion after dubious potion. You have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning. Hey, that's on you, man. Oh dear, how awful for you. I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, Mr. Sholmes. And good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim. And I see London's celebrated great detective is as active as ever. Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow. Compared to my paltry engagements in a few trivial cases, the Reaper's overbearing presence is a far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. I don't understand these two. Whenever they're talking to each other, it feels so random. Like it's like they know each other for like all of their entire lives or something. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there is at least one point on which I would readily commend you. One in honor. And that would be your eye for a good lawyer, sir. Mr. Sholmes. After all, behind this lawyer there is a very great mind, my own. What are you trying to say? I get it, Zoe. You want some pets down there. I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper. Which means I should be prepared for quite a trial. Fucking Falky. Sorry to barge in. Hey, Gina. Gina! What's that on her arm? It's a mourning band, I suppose. Aw, man. Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium? It's been postponed, so I have some free time. Wow. Decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action. Oh, great. As if the pressure wasn't already mounting. I should be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope there are some fruits to see. I don't think Gina's happy about what's, I don't think she's very happy about me defending, the Reaper. Oh, no. Oh, yes, Gina? Why'd you agree to this, eh? Why'd you take him on? Why'd you take him on? Take him in? Take him on? This Reaper bloke. Everyone says it was him, what? What killed the boss? I'm sorry, Gina, but I just don't believe that. Well, if it weren't him, who was it? I don't know that. Yet. I don't care who calls him what. The Reaper's just a name. He's just a person at the end of the day. And if it turns out it was him that killed the boss, then God help him. Fiery eyes indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing. Eh? At least, that may be some solace to the deceased. Damn. Please, Odo. Get whoever did this for the boss. Oh, Gina. I hate feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. So you've gotta find who done this and make the wretch pay. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court will be in session shortly. Make your way to the courtroom at once, please. Christ fucking mighty. They really nailed Gina's, entire mood perfectly on that one. Like, the raw emotion that you can see as she's animated through all that. Damn. Fucking damn. Alright, then, here we go. It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. Lord Van Zieks. Lord Van Zieks! We'll protect you as best we can, man. One who lost his treasured brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. And one who lost the man who helped her escape destitution. Oh, for fuck's sakes, this is... all that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. It's time to shine a light on all these dark events. And whatever truth is revealed, we're gonna have to look it straight in the eye. Man, what are we walking into tonight? 2nd of November, 9:20 a.m., the old Betty courtroom. It really is a closed court. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here to conduct a fair and just trial of the defendant, Barak von Zieks. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin? The defense is ready, my lord. The prosecution is more than ready. Oh, Kazuma-sama. I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long, it feels... But I never pictured it happening like this. It feels... I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution's bench. So-called Reaper of the Bailey has been a scourge like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today, we must uncover the truth behind this scourge. In other words, this trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder. The truths revealed by these proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions through the judiciary. Accordingly, they are to be conducted as a closed trial with no members of the public present. That is strange. By Her Majesty's direct orders. Oh. How will that work, my lord? The burden of all arbitration and adjudication falls on my shoulders. Oh, so it's literally Ace Attorney 1, 2, and 3. Therefore, as you will see, the juror's bench shall remain vacant today. If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord? They are members of the judiciary, here to witness proceedings and ensure an equitable trial. Equitable? I can't. I swear to God that word's not working out for me. Members of the judiciary. Oh my. This is a very unusual trial already. There is, of course, another unprecedented aspect to these proceedings on which I must elaborate. The counsels for the prosecution and the defense are both aliens of Great Britain. I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain this is the reason why I had to come to Britain. Kazuma? Very well, let us commence proceedings. Prosecutor Asogi, your opening statement, if you please. Oh, fuck. Certainly, my lord. Damn! Big paper! The incident took place on 1st November at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building of flats on Fresno Street on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property. Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson, a name known very well indeed to this court. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of this country's grimmest cases 10 years ago. The Professor case. How sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot and all have reported the same time. Yes, that's what Gina told us too. There were a number of witnesses. Wait, but does that mean... Never mind. I have here a plan of the room. The victim was found curled up in one corner. Man. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly. Point-blank? God, jeez. How has the range been determined? There were scorch marks around the entry wound. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. But powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only ejected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, it only happens when the target is at point-blank range. I see, yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Counsel. Inspector Gregson's autopsy report stated the death was instant, resulting from a bullet at close range. I mean... Trying to see the positives in all this, at least he died instantly and wasn't, like, bleeding out. Because I feel like if we found out he was bleeding out, I think that would actually kind of, like... slightly break me. The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim. And have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm? No, my lord, not conclusively. Bravo, Kazuma-sama, for not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proved. Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There's a candelabrum mounted on that wall, and the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile. We noticed that too, didn't we? Yeah, that's right. Thank you for the thorough report, Counsel. The settling of the crime is clear to me. You will submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please. As you wish, my lord. Cool. So we have some stuff now. Is this Fresno Street room Inspector Gregson's private abode? That we haven't determined, but let me look at those things real quick. We got the autopsy report. Fucking hate that. Time of death. Doesn't have a time of death? I mean, technically not. Cause of death. Victim was shot in the chest at close range from the front, resulting in instant death. Scorch marks at point of entry, the bullet exited the body from behind. The caliber of the gun used matches that of a standard issue firearm for members of the judiciary. Okay. And then we have the plan thing. Which, I mean, there's not much to talk about this, but hey, it's there. No, my lord. The room is rented to Mr. Huge... Mr. Huge Boone. But there is a precious little furniture inside, and it is generally in a poor state of repair. So what on earth was Gregson even doing there? Presumably he was investigating some case or other. When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from witnesses and rushed to the scene, he found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside, holding the revolver. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot. So, the details of the case are clear. In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. A name, please, counsel. Naturally. The accused himself, huh? Lord Van Zieks? As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he's taken and would be compelled to tell the truth. Very well, let the defendant take the witness stand. Well, I don't think we're going to be presenting evidence against this, because there's no way Zieks is going to tell a lie. So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Barrick Van Zieks, Old Bailey prosecutor. I presume, Lord Van Zieks, that you heard Prosecutor Asogi's opening preface. I did. It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this? Yes, my lord. Then I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room on Fresno Street at the time in question. And what exactly took place. I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth. I must say, Lord Van Zieks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come. But since you became known as the Reaper, a part of me has been dreading it. So what happens if the Reaper goes on trial, and he has to... Does the Reaper kill the Reaper or something? That just makes confusing me. That's confusing. Your formal testimony then, witness. Alright, let's see what we got here. But we're not going to be able to do much with... I don't know what... I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. Investigating Gregson? When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside, and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Oh, damn. Okay. That testimony was the whole truth? It was. So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right. You haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse. Jeez. I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor Asogi. It would appear to be a singular tale indeed. Singular isn't the word, it's laughable. What's got into Kazuma? He's not behaving like himself at all. Okay, I'm scared. I'm scared a little bit now. Very well then. Counsel, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Okay, best we can do is press. If there is a way to present evidence at this point, I will be very surprised. First off, investigating Gregson? Wait a minute. You were investigating the inspector? What on earth for? I'm not at liberty to say. Sorry? I'd identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in a case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed. Is the court to understand, then, that on the day in question you followed the victim to the scene? No. I was privy to his movements in advance. How? I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary. The address on Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. You illegally entered the man's office. In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense. Jesus fucking Christ. As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, Lord Van Zieks? I was aware of the possible consequences. So, in summary, you were investigating the victim. And yet, you refused to tell the court why. I didn't realize British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath. Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh, Jesus. Why did I ever think I could defend this man? Oh, God. Oh, he's gonna kick me in the nuts continuously with this. Hold it. That was just the first press. Had you ever been to the address before? No, never. I only learned of the place as a result of my investigation into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything. But at 5 p.m., the sun would only have just gone down. It would still have been reasonably light outside. The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky inside. I wouldn't have noticed if the victim was already lying on the floor. There was no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure? I'm quite sure that the part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning at the desk, though I couldn't say for certain. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. There is a small desk in the room just there, or just here. Yes, I remember, and there was an oil lamp on it, as well as a framed photograph of that lady. When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started towards the desk to investigate. And what did you find? Nothing. I never actually reached the desk. Huh. This would imply that when Zieks entered the room, there was someone else in the room with Gregson who was probably trying to just kill Gregson no matter what. So, who fired the gun? I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room. But you say it was very dark in there? Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence. Aha, then could it be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room? No, that's out of the question. Oh. Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder. Ugh, this is going from bad to worse. And you say that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor? Correct. And I foolishly picked it up. That was carelessness on my part. I mean, Edgeworth picked up the gun when that dude shot him, randomly into somewhere. Presumably, then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you somewhat hastily took in your hands. In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not. What? The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent powder. But then where on earth is the gun that was fired? Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I, too, would dearly like to know that. Wait a minute, what the hell gun do I have? I don't have a gun in my frickin' inventory. Oh, I have this gun. Which, by the way, I just realized I have not been inspecting anything. So this is the type of revolver that's standard for members of the judiciary, then. Yes, and when I asked about whether records are kept about who they're issued to, I was told that for the past 5 years, they've been engraved with a unique serial number. Oh, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing like that on this gun. Which tells us that it must have been issued longer than that. Or issued longer ago than that. By the way, what is this thing at the bottom? Did old revolvers have that little thing at the bottom? Anyway, that's not gonna help me. And I haven't even looked at the fucking hairpiece yet, either. I've always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like. That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you? I'm not sure that's quite how I'd put it. You must have to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your head. So it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean. That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think? Luis, Wig Doko? Notice of dismissal. Chief Warder Dally Vigils relieved of his post immediate... Yeah, we read this thing. They have the letter of introduction on a business card, black bird line. We didn't even look at the police figurine and we picked it up, dude. Man, what is wrong with me? The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Hi, Dandy. How you doing, dude? Shall we try twisting it around and around too, for fun? Huh? What the fuck is that? Ah, what's that? It appears to be some sort of key. But it's tiny though. It could be a key for a door, not at that size. So what is it for, I wonder? I have an important announcement. Cheese. I could go for some cheese right about now. I could go for some, like, cheddar cheese. Now I want some cheese. How you doing, Alex, by the way? A model of the British policeman found at the scene of the crime on Fresno Street. Giving it a twist causes a key-like shaft to pop out from the base. That looks more like a screwdriver. Not a... Well, I guess technically it is a key. This looks like some sort of key. Yes, it does. A very tiny and simple key. What's a little key doing inside a figurine of a policeman in the first place? And what's it for? Nobody knows. Huh. This is what I get for not examining stuff as soon as I got them. I completely disregarded even examining anything. Oh yeah, remember that term asexual or whatever it was? Yes, I was the one who told you to go look it up. Ah, there are some black marks here, look. Did you manage to look it up though? I mean, well, I mean, you just said you looked it up. What did you discover? Yes, look, they look like some sort of scorch marks. So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. Probably good not to be knowledgeable about them, to be completely honest, but hey. Mozzarella stuffed crust pastry with tomato sauce making me act up. So, pizza? Bum 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 bum. Alright, we got everything we looked at here. Ugh. And I think I'm this thing called Arrow Ace. I would have to look that one up. Hold it! Like the smaller stuffed mini pizza buns? Oh my god. You're just gonna make me crave a pizza at this rate, you know that? A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume? That's right. One of the street merchants working on Fresno Street. Who are these merchants? A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. They've all given statements saying how they heard the gunshot. And without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened. Huh? By the way, I haven't had anything to eat for like nearing on 6 hours, so I hunger. Yes, Gina's told us about that yesterday, didn't she? They burst through the door of some force, it would seem. They did, and almost gave me a heart attack in the process. But you're supposed to be the Reaper. The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. A policeman patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion and was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction. Aren't we all a little bit irresponsible when some good cheese is around? Oh, absolutely. If anything has cheese or extra cheese, forget it, man. I'm gonna eat it. Hold it! What do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear? I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point, and then suddenly, there it was. Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand? At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of a man who came inside first. Nothing more. I see. After the man fled, I examined the body.
I was stunned to find that it was Gregson. Most curious circumstances indeed. How the inspector was killed or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere, I have no idea.
Objection.
Oh, okay then. My god, DiGiorno's pizza stuffed mozzarella crust makes me bust. We have a little local, I'm assuming that's a local pizza place, but it's called Mountain Mike's. Oh man, that sounds pretty good right about now. They have an option for garlic bread, garlic breadsticks, but with extra cheese on it. Oh my god, those things are so good. Surely the court has heard enough. My lord, the cross-examination is clearly revealed that the accused Berg van Zieks is lying on multiple fronts. What? What is that supposed to mean? Good gracious, counsel. The defendant is lying, you say? In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. That's correct. No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum. How does that prove anything? If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact. One would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle. The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly of a different length. Yes, I can see that only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long. We could reasonably expect someone to have lit all three candles together, which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. Mozzarella laden with tomato and basil olive oil slightly drizzled over it. Alex, please stop talking. If you don't, I'm a DoorDash feed right now. I can't afford to do that right now. No kidding. No kidding. That must be because that particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Ah. I knew that I was going to be afraid of Kazuma being the prosecutor for this, and I was right, because he called out shit immediately. That's right. When the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles would still have been burning, so the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused's claim that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts those facts. Damn. And now to the next lie. There's more? The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings. I don't think you're going to be able to get pizza at 4 in the morning. Yes, that's right, we saw it too. It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged. However, they included a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago? This is starting to sound familiar. And there's a common thread linking all of the documents on that board. Indeed, what is this common thread, counsel? They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Berg van Zieks. All of them? And furthermore, all those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted. Good lord! Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper. Yeah. Over here in California, I don't think any pizza places are open that late. Or early, I guess. In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout. and his base of operations. Holy shit, he's throwing that one out there. The Reaper's hideout? And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout? No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards. Backwards? Explain, Counsel. Cosimo is literally taking control of this fucking case, dude. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. What? Bleh. You got an all-night pizza place? Wow, that's pretty nice. Order! 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 Very well. I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Eric Van Zieks is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with a prosecutor Asogi's contention that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts. All I have done is state the truth as I know it. Possum has done a brilliant job as ever. He's drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case, and it's formidable. It's scary. Counsel, you will submit the board that you just showed to the court as evidence. I believe it will be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence. Thank you, my lord. A notice board! A freestanding notice board completely covered in notes and articles related to the victims of the Reaper of the Bailey. And now the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand. Yeah, that one hurts. Okay, what is this about? Congratulations, Alex. You just allowed D&D to commit a heinous purchase. There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back years on here, aren't there? This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age. Look. Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be this newspaper cutting here. Oh, it's the same Red-Headed League advertisement that Mr. Shomes had picked out. And do you remember, there was a red hairpiece at the scene too? Is Inspector Gregson an exponent of the Red-Headed League then? That depends on what you think. Oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Mr. Naruhodo, look! Oh yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint. And the color. That's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. There's a bloody handprint on the backside. I regret nothing. I'll regret everything if I start getting more and more hungry, which I don't think is going to happen, but it could happen. Okay, so this notice board has got something on it. And now they call the next witnesses. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question. They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember. Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room. Very well, lead the witnesses in. The defendant may step down from the witness stand. Certainly, my lord. Oh, he's still respectful despite Cosimo really, like... You again? Oh my god, I thought we were done with you. So, witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Names? We don't use names. Far too fancy for the likes of us. We're just free and easy, sell what we like, live where we want to live. Isn't this the same Flowers girl from Professor Layton vs. Ace Attorney? It looks like her. I give them all the vacant stares. They walk down Fresno and spin a few words into a verse for them. Ah, would I be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street? Hey, everyone calls me Gossip. I sell jaunty little titbits? To passerbys, you know? Titbits. Jaunty little titbits? Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up your ginnel, that is. It is. 6 pence is the price and not a penny less. Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now? Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested. Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is. Bastards. Pay them. What the fuck? Pay the man, counsel. Alright. 6 pence it is. You won't regret it, sir. Now, got your listening ears on? Just between us, a young couple on Slight Street have just had twins. I mean, it's gossip. Is that it? No, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? It wants to spread, but that bit's up to you and your mouth, of course. I've got more, you know. Want another juicy one? 6 pence a piece it is, if you're curious. I am curious, yes, about what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours. Namely, that unusual bruise or whatever that is that's poking out from under your collar. It's like he was choked. What about the next witness, then? What name do you go by and what do you sell? Me? I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, ain't it? Fireworks? I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids. 6 pence a pop. What do you say? That's cute. You weren't exaggerating with little. Do they actually sell? Oh yeah. The second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if you get 100, they could blow up the school. Oh my god. Not the most savory of ideas, young lady. What do you say then, eh? Want to part with the 6 pence for a pop? Wait, what? You want me to buy one? Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you can blow up the whole corner. Try the woman. Give her the money and see if she's right. Pay the woman. Alright, I'll buy one. Lovely stuff. Right then, this is something a bit extra just for you. The Venus Special. Only 600 pence. 600? It's 100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing little about that, is there? And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. Why was this added to the Venus Special Firecracker consisting of 100 smaller fireworks at 6 pence each? What sort of bang could it make? Why did they make me buy them? Got sold to during court session. You're natural, bruh. I mean, I don't know what I expected with this. Have you had an idea, Mr. Naruhodo? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks. Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus Special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like. Shall we find out? What? But she said it could blow up the courtroom. That sounds like a gunshot. Alright, that was a fairly sizable bang. My ears are still ringing, Mr. Naruhodo. It sounded almost exactly like a gun. That would explain the sound, then. And the last witness. What name do you go by and what do you sell? I'm the thinker, me. Think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I think. Because I stand there on the street, watching the world go on about me. They call me the Observer. Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich and you know it. So, you don't actually sell anything? A problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. I give advice, I do, and think what it means. I don't actually sell anything, no. Come to think of it. Wow. Pity. No more purchases today, please. Wow, we have quite a cast here, it seems. They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord, and always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene. I see. And thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose. Not only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witnessed a crime. Well, I'll be beggared, I thought. Just between us. Venus de Milo. What am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw. What I think is, if all what we see is light and shadow playing with our eyes, is any of it real? Oh my god, I hate this guy. This guy was the cabin driver from the first... Not the first case. The McGilded case. Was it like the third case or something? Very well. The court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. It will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident. His cabbages? Yeah, his poor... How did he lose his job as a stagecoach guy? We saw the whole thing from start to finish. We did everything from the moment they went in the building. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that all we heard a big bang. Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what happened. I ran into the room and there he was, the Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body. I was scared half to death, me, so I ran off to find a copper. Oh, that explains the person who ran off. Oh, cab driver. I heard cabbage seller. No. He was a cab driver. He was one of the dudes at the one who guides the horses who are pulling the stagecoach. Hey, Zoe. I was turning my AC off. How you doing, Zoe? If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Failed ATLA reference, sad. Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Barrick Van Zieks. Damn. I've seen pictures of that Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. And just between us, these folks love stories like this. I made myself a tidy sum already. But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied. Well, that doesn't help. Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Huge Bone. I can't believe Gregson picked the name Huge Bone. The testimony the court just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime. No! Thank you for your candor, my lord. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses. There's going to be a lot of red herrings on this one. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony somehow. Oh man, I'm going to suffer in this one. Kazuma's portrait looks really cool, by the way.
Hold it!
Bum, 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 bum. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zieks? I suppose so. The likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing, it was the old Reaper that went in last, that's for sure and certain. Just behind Inspector Gregson, did they arrive at the same time as each other? No, not at all. First fellow must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard that gunshot. The victim arrived 15 minutes before? Are you sure about that? Am I sure? Am I sure? Does it seem likely that I had forgotten a fellow with bright red hair like that, does it? Yeah, his hair was really red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even. That fire red mop still burnt on the inside of my eyelids, it is. Wait a minute. You're saying the man was a redhead? Weren't you listening, chum? Aye, he was a redhead. And he had a big trunk with him as well. But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red. Not by any stretch of the imagination. It seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. I mean, come on, Rio, we knew this was gonna happen. Just have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. I was waiting for this to pop up, and I don't want to see it because it makes me depressed. Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, alright. And a red hairpiece. Ah, of course. We saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we? I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that? It's gotta do with that red-haired league. The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. The photograph will be submitted as evidence, please, counsel. His body appears to be tightly curled up as there's a red hairpiece on his head. And what became of the trunk that the red-haired victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. Damn. So it just disappeared? What, do you expect us to have been watching the building every second, do you? We definitely saw him in the dock going in, though. No question about that. Before we press that, I want to look at that photo, which is it depresses me. Yeah, no, that depresses me. Seeing Gregson there, now dead, is just depressing as fuck. Poor D&D got sent to a quest. Wonder if he's okay. He did say 20 minutes.
Hold it!
By which presumably you mean the gunshot. I still these little things, don't I? How would I know what a gunshot sounds like? But I've always thought it probably sounds a bit like this, doesn't it? And you say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here into the building? That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang! It went. Just like that. Well, he's the Reaper, isn't he? It's what the French call a fait accompli. I don't know what that means. When the Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, isn't it? I think we get the message. The Reaper couldn't allow the Inspector to live after he discovered his secret hideout. There could be no clearer motive for the crime. Okay, but why would the Inspector be wearing red hair at the time? Also, I turned off my AC thinking it was going to be too cold in my room. I am mistaken. It is now back to too hot in my room. How infuriating. I can't have the AC off or I burn up. Hi, Zoe. Hi, Zoe. Hi, Zoe. Come here, Zoe. Hi, Zoe. What? Like you never want to be held by me. Yes. It's certainly an eminently credible motive. Great. And at that point, you ran inside, is that correct? Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go see what happened. So, when Gossip ran to see what had happened, did you go too? Well, me, I'm a bit hampered, see? All the signs are that I can't move very well. You were way behind, presumably, with that sandwich board around your neck and that big sign on your hand. What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before? I'm not anybody, me. The signs are what make me who I am now. I signed, therefore I am. I really want to know how he lost his job. Yeah, see, look. So, you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago, then? Called out, dude. I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling is intensified, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot. The fuck happened? Turn down King Henry Street and the Black Widower's Arms is just there. Oh dear, you've made him hide behind his sign. Life is full of surprises. Hook up a Raspberry Pi to your AC and set up a macro on it when it shuts down every time it gets too cold. Here's the problem. The AC is hitting me directly. So if I get too cold, that doesn't help.
Hold it!
So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right? That I was, kicked the door open like a professional I did, and yelled out, "What's going on here?" Lord Van Zieks claims all he heard was a man's scream, though. And was it dark inside the room? No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall. Really? And there was a fella collapsed on the floor. Just between us, it's the first thing I noticed when I got inside. Ah, I see. Even though Lord Van Zieks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall. The next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body. The accused, Barrick Van Zieks. That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no lily-livered coward. Stood my ground and gave that Reaper a cold, hard stare myself. Meanwhile, this guy's complaining about it. What's the matter, omnibus driver? Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich? There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am, just 2 slices with no middle. What are you? An idiot sandwich. What are you? An idiot sandwich! So I don't know what you could want with me. I think that maybe you just remembered something? Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean. Oh my fucking god, Gordon. What I think is, we're all nothings, really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers. That's enough out of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap shut now. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich. When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside. That's it? Oh, you rotten beggar. I told you to keep that a secret. He screamed, he did. Ooh. My cat brought her toy up to my desk. She wants to play. Isn't that right, Billy? You just want to play. You want to get tired. He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off on all fours. That's all I wanted to say. Mr. Gossip, is this true? The floor was dead slippery, that's why. Planted my hand in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck. Cancel all your plans. Your time now belongs to Zoe. I mean, I always give my time to Zoe whenever I can. What? A pool of blood? Listen here, even when I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving the Reaper a cold, hard stare. Don't you forget it. Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand? I did. Happens to the best of us at times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. We can keep it just between us, can't we? No, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony. Oh, if I must. Zoe. The witness will amend his testimony and include the aforementioned details at once. I was waiting for this. I slipped over and got blood on my hand, so I quickly wiped it off on the floor. Oh my god, you dumbass. It's just a gimme. The daughter demands attention. She always demands attention. Anyway, you did not. You did not wipe it on the floor. So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that? Well, what else do you expect me to have done, eh? Does it really matter?
Objection.
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. What exactly is the defense asserting? Ooh. If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Asogi. Ooh. Certainly there was no bloody handprint found on the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint and blood left very clearly on this at the scene. On the back of this notice board. Ah, yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint and the distinctive color of blood. Ah, you're dead right. That's my right hand. I'd know it anywhere. Wow.
Objection.
The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Objection.
No. Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was in the opposite corner of the room and the victim in an upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body. That doesn't make sense. I'm back with the pizza, Lamau. Wow, you actually got pizza? And funny enough, that kind of took 20 minutes pretty much. Maybe like 25 minutes. I fell over when I came across the body, so I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room. Okay, but that makes even less sense now. In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason. I take it that you formulated a proper hypothesis, counsel, regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's accounts and the handprint found at the scene. I have, my lord. The discrepancy between the witness's accounts and the location of the handprint is explained. Let me look at this evidence real quick. All we have to work with that we have inside the room is this. There is no handprint that I see on this picture. Not a single one. We can only safely assume there is no second handprint. The alternative thing is that... what was the other option here? The board would not have moved. Because if we go back and look at the board, there is no, like... I don't see anything here to tell me there's a bullet hole on it. If I look at the back of it, same deal. There's no, like, bullet hole. It's just a slightly hurt board in back here, but that doesn't tell me anything. So no, the board could not have moved. The only thing I can think of at this point is false testimony. Holy shit, I regret nothing. This is so fucking good. When you were gone for more than 10 minutes, I kind of figured you were gonna go out and get that pizza. Which I still can't believe you did it. It's false testimony. I can only think of that. The witness claims to have wiped his bloody hand on the floor, yet no sign of that remains at the scene. The simplest explanation is the witness is lying.
Objection.
Just because it's the simplest explanation doesn't make it the correct one, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Huh? Positing perjury simply because it suits you. You bring shame on your Japanese heritage. What, am I actually wrong? Really? It's not false testimony? I would ask you not to oversimplify matters again, counsel. I don't remember fostering that kind of simplistic thinking in you. Bruh, since when were you my father? Bruh. Anyway, I was always taught to consider all possibilities. Then show me. There should be a bloody handprint on the floor, so where did it go? Where did it give the proper explanation to the court now? Is it really a proper one? There would have to be another handprint then. Yeah, no, there has to be another handprint then. If Mr. Gossip ended with blood on his hand and wiped it off on the floor as he says, it must have been left behind a mark somewhere. Just as a mark had been left behind on the back of the notice board. It's wrong again, isn't it? The prosecution has already established that the handprint on the board is irrelevant. You know what? I'm just gonna go back and load because I'm sick of losing so many lives to this.
Objection. Objection. Objection.
Did you get pepperoni or cheese pizza?
Objection. Objection.
Pepperoni, obviously. Fair enough. Yeah, no, for me, I would have gotten cheese pizza at this rate. I've been enjoying cheese pizza way more often than normal.
The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down. Good gracious, so it is. The witness had put his hand against the board, the fingers should be pointing upwards. What does that tell us? It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested. Which means that after the incident, it must have been moved. What?
Objection.
You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting? Then tell the court who. I don't know that yet, but the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point. And that would be the position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord. So, counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. Oh no, you're gonna ask me where this... At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated? Okay, think about this for a second. Think about this for just a second. If we're going off what Lord Van Zieks said, right? He said he entered the room. He did not see the body. He was heading towards the table, heard the loud bang and the body just appeared, which means that the board would have had to have been right here. There's no other spot for it to have been. At least relatively around here.
Take that!
This is the only possible location. Immediately adjacent to the doorway. If the court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room, it was dark, and he couldn't see the body. By heck! If the notice board had been here, the body would have been completely hidden from view, and the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker.
Objection.
But the accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him. That's true. Or, in his precise words, just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open, and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Love me some opioids in my drink? Dude, no, don't talk about fentanyl. A lot of people die from that one. I don't know about calling it as scream, but he was talking about me, and no mistake. Because it was me that kicked the door open. If you look again at the floor plan, consider what would happen if the door to the room was thrown open with force. That can't be. The door struck the notice board, knocking it over. and making the victim's body visible. Good gracious! My client has told nothing but the truth. He has simply described what he saw. Ah! He took a flinch! Oh, finally, Kazuma takes damage. I was worried he wouldn't take anything. Order! Order, counsel! How has this not come to light before now? After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleagues saw it when investigating the room. Witness, what have you to say for yourself? What? Me, my lord? You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board. The witnesses in the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime. Stop looking over your glasses at me. I got the message. Okay, not so bad with the first one. Not so bad with the first actual cross-examination. Not including the one with Van Zieks. The mystery of the moving board. I'm devouring this pizza. Dude, you are making me fucking jealous. Like, that's not right. You should not be making me jealous over pizza. But I am not prepared to spend, like, $70 right now for pizza. Like, right now. Because if I buy a pizza, not only do I gotta buy the pizza for myself, right? I also gotta buy a pizza for my mom's husband because he prefers pepperoni with every topping on it, right? I also have to buy the garlic breadsticks. And the pizza that my mom and I share, it has to be it's ham and pineapple. Or cheese if we're feeling cheese. And delivery fee on top of that. So it's like, oh god. That's gonna kill me right now. The mystery of the moving board. I don't know anything about that there notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign that the cross was alive. Don't tell me that's the only. It was that Reaper, I bet. He's got that a face that screams bored. Excuse me? Falky casually buying the entire menu. Look, if I'm gonna get pizza, I'm gonna get my garlic breadsticks with extra cheese. I'm gonna get my pizza with light on the sauce and extra cheese. And I'm gonna get the pizza for my mom's husband because he loves pepperoni. And it's a mini pizza, so he gets 4 slices all to himself. While my mom and I share 10 slices. Also, there's an option to buy a cookie pizza, which is just a little miniature cookie bowl, or a miniature pizza, but cookie. It's good. It's really good. But that's when I really want to splurge. I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot. Okay, the gunshot situation is the fireworks at this point, I feel like. I feel like the detective was dead even longer than that. Why didn't no one do an autopsy, dude? The fuck? Nah, that's just ordinary pizza for you. That or you're just feeding your addiction. Cookie pizzas, huh? Yeah, cookie pizza. Go look it up. It literally is just a tiny little pizza, but it's just a cookie. They call it a cookie pizza. So none of you can elaborate further. Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see, we can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. That's right, yeah. You don't pay to expect too much. It's man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world, that's what I think. Do you, really? In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Beric Van Zieks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact. No, not until we prove that it wasn't actually Zieks who shot anyone and Gregson was dead longer than that. Okay, Googled cookie pizza, I fell in love. Yeah, I told you. Mountain Mike's over here, they sell that cookie pizza. It's like 8 little tiny slices of cookie. Oh man. It's pretty damn good. It's a good palate cleanser to end the day after you have a few slices of pizza. Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witness despite the circumstances? Most certainly, my lord. Very well, then you may proceed, counsel. It's legit just cocaine, very expensive but very good. This is a joke. Maybe? So you admit that it was the board you wiped your bloody hand on? Admit it? What's to admit? It's there plain as day for all to see. A smashing print of my right hand. Perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint. So you righted the notice board and pushed it into the corner, did you? No, no, imagine the weight of that great lump. Do I look like a powerful and well-nurtured man? Oh man, that's pretty... Wow, self-burn. Well, did you see anybody else moving the board? I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you, but even I have my limits. There was a body on the floor in front of me, and the Green Ripper himself standing over it. And there was precious little light inside either. My bottom lip was all quiver. In other words, this witness is unable to give definite testimony on that point. Lame. I got some croissants in the tele downstairs. Thanks to y'all, I'll need a placebo now. Have fun grabbing your placebo. Yes, so it would seem. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it.
Hold it!
When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks? Yeah, what else? There's the Priory School just around the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow their school to kingdom come. Oh my god. So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to. Oh? You have? Yeah, I wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them. Did you just wipe a match on her ass and light it? Yes, she did. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. Everyone's happy. Oh my god, she's such a good scammer. She literally sells the kids fireworks, tells the school that they have dodgy toys. The school takes them away, and then the kids go back and buy more fireworks because they lost the ones that they had. Dude, that's dirty. What a racket. Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. Oh my fucking god, she's just winning. It's a busy old life selling explosives. Venus is a guileful goddess indeed. Oh shit, dude. Holy crap. Selling is a solving problem at its core. If there ain't one, make one. Oh my god. Do not take advice from this woman, but also consider the advice from this woman. Well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it. Hi? Again? Sandwich?
Excuse me.
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich? If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it? No. No. Did Miss Vita's statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts. Let's say there was a great liar. And that great liar said, without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too, or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar. Ooh, it's a hellish paradox, that one. Don't you think? He's not wrong. Who created yodeling? I don't have a clue. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you? That fucking look at her. The look at her. What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that, and I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about. Oh my god. Jesus. And her little smile as she's holding the match and a bunch of fireworks. Jesus Christ. You have a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich? Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Can you elaborate, please, sir? Old Blabbermouth here headed for the room where the gunshots seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind them, too. That's right. That rotten liar over there. Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all? What did I tell you, eh? I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I? My fucking god. By the way, I've added more Funko Pops to my wall. Might I recommend disc plates? Get some disc plates up there. Or like, something nude. Something nudity related. Yes, you mentioned it. Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it? Who knew firecrackers packed such a punch? Ah, Funkos. My go-to plastic crack. Why? Why not, D&D? Why not? Literally on my wall, well, on my left wall, you don't see what's on my left wall, but on my left wall, I have a, what are those sock things called that you get on Christmas? Well, it's one of those sock things you get in Christmas. It's a cat on it. And then next to that is the poster from Unis Honest, if you ever watched Unis Honest when it was around for a year. And then next to that is a very big drape that has a nude woman on it. Specifically, one of the characters from Sengoku Rants, because I really loved the character and she was such a fucking badass. You want me to buy a nude Funko? I don't know. Did I say that? I'm just saying get something nice to add to the pretty on your wall. So did so you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief. Well, now you come to mention it, I suppose perhaps I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah. Either you clearly remember it or you don't. Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurous act later. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth. Oh yes, my lord, of course. I was not expecting to get that out of her testimony, but hey. Maybe I did sneak along behind gossip and have a little peek into the room where it all happened. Why did you lie about that? You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus? Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. Oh my god. Okay, when I'm listening to this woman's voice, I'm sorry, when I speak her lines, do you guys get the vibe that she's like...
Let me mimic the voice that I'm thinking of. If you want my advice, though, I'll take everything I say with a big pinch of salt. Kind of like that. Like Valley Girl, you know? Like she was always living in the country. Alright, but you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on that day in question, didn't you? Oh, please. As if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying. I can't, dude. I can't. The truth, please. Well, alright. Just a bit, then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know? Funko Pops are probably why I'm broke as shit. What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Did you touch anything at the scene? Oh, please. As if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor. The truth. Well, alright. Just a bit, then. I had to look to see if there was anything I could sell. Oh my god, this woman. So I did give the place a once over, but it was nothing to write home about. Right. Now, I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you? Oh, please. As if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I add. The truth, please. Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry, flip the blasted thing. What the fuck? What the fuck? You're telling us that you did move that board? I think that did slip out, didn't it? My fucking god, dude. Oh my god. What? You daft barn pot. I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think. Jesus fucking Christ, why? So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps? To sell? Oh, please. I should be so lucky in my imagination. The truth now! I might have found this old pocket watch on the notice board. Oh my fucking god, dude. I can't with this woman. I cannot with this. She is such a pathological liar. It's so... Okay, when you hate a character that a video game makes, or they make you, like, actually reel over in pain, you know that they made a good character. I look at this character and I just see someone in shambles who is capable of just lying. They even trick themselves into lying. Like, oh my god, dude. How do you do this? Oh, what are you guys talking about over there? To be honest, Funkos are good. Sometimes more affordable than merch of the thing you like. I don't know, it's like $200 for a custom Funko? What about displayed? Wouldn't that be cheaper? I don't know. I don't have a displayed. I don't have Funko Pops. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much if you... Ah! What the hell? She got smacked in the head just now. Gina? So it was you, was it? You're the one who took it. Gina? Young lady, may I remind you where you are? That watch there? That was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago. The professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail with what when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. I see. I swiped it off him once and blimey was he upset. He gave me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed it in a day in the last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. It's not all that, though. I took it to the jobs that night to ask how much it was, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it, said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it. Funkos are... Wait, okay, I'm curious about this whole Funko Pop thing.
Let me look up what a Funko Pop is. Funko Pop. Funko Pop. Funko Pop yourself. Oh, it's these things. That's what those are. Is that Ugandan Knuckles? That's not Ugandan Knuckles, is it? Oh wow, they have a lot of... they have a lot... Okay. Bum bum ba 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 bum bum bam. Bum 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 ba da bum 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 ba da bam. I doubt I'm gonna find the Funko Pop for the thing that I would want, to be completely honest with you. Especially because I see a mega fuck ton of Five Nights at Freddy's on this website. Wait, let me see here. The Blue Archive. Well, that's not gonna... Yeah, no, I don't think Funko Pop is the way for me to go. It's like 6 at my place, and I gotta start work at 8. Nothing beats waking up at 3 due to insomnia and seeking a Falcon stream. Hey, I'm happy that people are popping up to the Falcon stream. I like streaming. It's the most fun I have outside of, like, sleeping. I knew I should have lifted it. Okay, this is interesting. So she stole a freaking watch. That watch must be submitted as evidence as once. Oh, please. Just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done. Absolutely not. Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again. That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith. Now, children, watch your manners. Good lord! The glass appears to be broken. Aww. More than likely it shattered when the inspector was shot. Doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jabs didn't want it. What a waste, eh? Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour of 5. Oh, well that tells us a lot then, actually. Bye, D&D. Take it easy. Buy more Funko Pops or disc plates. I feel like disc plates is better. Exactly when the gunshot was heard, then. Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Yeah, that doesn't help. Actually, now that I think about it, that really doesn't help. Inspector Gregson's pocket watch that he found without fail, or that he wound without fail every single day. It's no longer ticking. The glass over the face is cracked. I want to look at that, please. Give me that. Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved, at least. I can't believe the motherfucker moved it. Let's look at this, though. The glass over the face really is badly cracked. Look, what a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully. I imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you? Yes, I should think so. He's very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact. But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruhodo, not an odd man, not an odd job man. Doc, you're feeding my addiction. Dude, giving a mewing reference. Mewing it. Shh. 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 There's a tiny little stub sticking out from this hole here. Look. I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time. In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it? Yes, of course. Which could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene. Maybe. Oh man, that means... Whoa, hey, wait a minute. Ah, there's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see? Oh yes, that's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanism. It looks a little unusual, don't you think? Yes, you'd need just the right key to wind it, I imagine. Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit this hole. It would be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully what we already have. Alright, so you want me to look at the other evidence. Okay, let's do that then. Where's that thing here? Twist the head. Internet brain rock peeping in, we all doomed. Hey, when we live permanently on the internet as much as we do now, are you surprised that we're like brain rotting? Hey, Ryu, about this. Miss Susato, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch? Oh, yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. It works? I knew it, a perfect fit. And look, the inspector's watch has started going again. Ah, so it has obviously just not been wound up, that's all. But why? What is it, Miss Susato? Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications. She's deep in thought now. Perhaps I better start thinking deeply too. Having wound it up, it started ticking again. Okay, so he did not die at 5, if that's what this is implying. Okay, let's work with this. And as predicted, it had very little bearing on the case. Ugh. Now then, continue with your cross-examination, please, counsel. Okay, so the notice board thing, out the window.
Hold it!
So we gotta keep on pressing to see if we can find something about the time, I guess. But did you... but you did go and see what happened in the room, didn't you? Fresno Street is my whole world. It's all I know. And all I know of it. I have to make it my business to know, if I want to hold my sign up high. So you did go and see what had happened. It's not the destination that's important, it's how you get there, isn't it? Oh my fucking god, this philosopher. Did you notice the notice board in the room? Try saying that sentence 10 million times fast. If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? Both different members of the sign family? Oh my god. So if I'd spotted it, I might have tried to trip it up out of a sense of rivalry, I admit. Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo sapiens. Does that mean that you did notice the board? I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me, just a sign at the crossroads of life. In which case, just who was responsible for moving the notice board? What exactly do you mean by that? Oh, come on now, don't tell us you're not noticed. He looks like he hates everything in the world, that fella. Well, he's not wrong. But not notice boards, they're the one thing he likes. You can see it in his eyes. I can't say I'd ever noticed. I'll tell you one thing for free, though. I never took my eyes off that man on the floor, or off the Reaper, not for a second. Sorry? Well, I was that scared, I couldn't. You never know what a fiend like that might do if you look away, do you? If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board. Crap, need some coffee, be right back. Okay. Aye, that I can. The Reaper did nothing of the sort. I can swear to that. Well, there you go. I couldn't have missed that if he'd heaved the thing upright again and dragged it into the corner. Right. Glad we've cleared that up. What happened to the face that screams bored? I fear your pain, Kazuma.
Hold it!
I don't know when this clock thing's gonna play into perspective. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it? Maybe the notice board fell over, or maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over, or maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way because of that gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too. My fate? That's right. The defense is fated to lose, and the prosecution to win. Oh, God. In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot If I could just find some problem with that part of their story, it may be possible to change all of our fates. Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it? Oh no, it does. I guess I'm gonna have to use the fireworks. Not much to go on. As you pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved, so somebody must have done it. But it did happen after the event, so maybe Cosmo's right, and it's not relevant to the case. But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all of this. Yes, I know what you mean. I've no doubt there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track, I can feel it. So follow your instincts. Trust your instincts. Do a barrel roll. The only guess I have at the moment is this gunshot related thing where I'm gonna have to present the fireworks. That's like the only thing I can think of right now.
Objection.
No? Okay, that's not what I expected. In a number of ways? No, okay. What if I present the gun then?
Objection.
No? I hate this. I hate this dumb shit when it comes to figuring out what the hell the message is about. What am I trying to figure out? Alright, let's take a quick look-see here. I thought maybe this could be the gunshot thing, but it's not. On notice board, it's a fucking red herring now.
Objection.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling it was this the watch. I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Oh? At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key? And having wound a pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built. What? Order, 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 but counsel! The watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock. Yeah, which is just when we heard that gunshot. It is exactly the hour. The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock. Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed. Nope. No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. It meant the world to him, that watch did. The victim was in a habit of winding his watch once a day in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well. Yes, that would be entirely reasonable. But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day. Oh, well, how do you explain it then? In summary, that evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean... What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. Yeah. Order, counsel, that is a most extraordinary claim. Extraordinary isn't the word, it's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before? Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Well, on that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. That's right. Wait a minute. You're forgetting that my legs went from under me when I kicked that door in. What do you mean? Like I said, I planted my hand in a dirty gray puddle of blood. Yes. So the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh. He catches on fast, doesn't he? But the blood could be explained in any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. How could that be? Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body after... No. Does my learned... Really? You're gonna use that fucking word? Does my learned friend think that fresh blood is available on every street corner? Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify the blood as human. Yeah, that was from Dr. Sif, actually. The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities. So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example. It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
Objection!
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question. I was waiting for this to pop up. Is it, though? What? Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. Oh, please, what are you trying to say? Yous lot know what we heard, and it was a loud bang that came from that there room. Now, you listen to me. A street seller's ears are his livelihood. Where the hell did you get that whip? I don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise. Eh? Explain yourself, then, counsel. A noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with the firecracker.
Take that!
I was waiting to be able to share that one. Something like this. The corporate could have set off one of these to fake a gunshot. Good gracious, the very fireworks that are sold by the witness? Now, hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway, see? Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. Bang! As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact. You're trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene. I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room the defendant was in the room at 5 that day, and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for those peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection!
But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barrick Van Zieks. One whiff of a match and my firecrackers go pop. See? That's why people like them. I fear for your fingers, young lady. Recently during my testimony here in Britain, recently during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb. Oh yeah. Good heavens, a bomb! Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Mr. Naruhodo, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident. No, wait. It's the whenever you like part that's important. A timed device. Yes, exactly. A timed device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left. Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, Counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a timed device was employed to create the gunshot sound? I think? I was looking at this earlier, right? First things first. The candelabra is not going to answer much because of this. All we have is this stupid thing right here. The long candle wick that's already burnt out. The thing I was curious about, though, is this little bit right here at the bottom. I haven't been able to examine that at all. So let's... Do I have anything else, actually? Hold on a minute. The pocket watch.
Take that!
You're suggesting this could have been used? No, it's not it. I did think so, my lord, but it's becoming increasingly clear that we've all been very misguided here. Bruh. Yes, by you. No, Counsel, the time has come for a penalty, without delay. Yeah, I get it, I fucking get it. We'll just hit the game with another save then, because we are running out of lives again. Okay, so I think the first guess was right. This is not right? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. What the heck is the actual answer then? There's no way that's actually something we have to look at, right? This thing?
Take that!
Yeah, no, it's wrong. My brain don't want to work. It's already 9:13 at night. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Take that!
That was my last guess. The candelabrum. What's the matter? Why are you meowing so much? As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabrum has been blown off. Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim. I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible. Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle. There are? Goodness, yes! But is it not the case that there was also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound? That's right, there was. And as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun. The cat wants to stay. He wants to stay. Oh, excuse me. Ah! Which means that the scorcher on the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks? How can that be, eh? The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or to put another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. That's pretty smart. Zoe is quite quirky today. Oh man, Alex, you've been missing it lately. Zoe has been very vocal in like every stream lately. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burnt down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang. I kind of like that theory that we got going on here. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock. Well, what a plot. And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe. The previous day, even. Now, just hold your horses. All us lot here saw the victim going into the building, remember? I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair even if I wanted to. The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Considering this... obviously anybody can wear a wig. So the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely wearing a red hairpiece. Someone else? Do you mean to say it was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick? In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. He's laughing? Why? Oh, very impressive, Ryo Nasuki Naruhodo. Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? I also noted the lack of a time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. Oof. Order! 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 Prosecutor Asogi! What on earth do you mean by that statement? I hear that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today, but we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. But, while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it. Well, certainly. I would agree with you. And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard. Even within the yard. However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend? Can you stop calling me learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating. Yes, I agree. Surely. My lord, the defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death. Can we? Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector the day prior to the incident? Probably the Red-Headed League article.
Take that!
I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation. Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable. Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League. The Red-Headed League? So, you'd already worked it out. What on earth is all this about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen? Extraordinary League of Gentlemen. The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception. A deception of what nature, counsel? They've been targeting red-haired men across all London and tricking them out of small sums of money. Oh, so they're Sholmes. You were about to be scammed, man. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once. 2 redheads? Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece, so it's very likely he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events. I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at least. The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring those 2 Red-Headed League conspirators before me, Prosecutor Asogi. At once, my lord. Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned. But we did it. We made it through half, or we made it through a part of the trial. My cat is going back and forth a lot right now. Yes, we're gonna save the current progress and gain back my lost lives. Okay, with that, we're gonna end the stream here for the night. 3 hours, pretty much closing on 3 hours. It's good enough for a stream, and we made it through. You can see an ominous shadow lurking on the Zoe cam like a shark. Yeah, she's going back and forth between the window. Is that right, Zoe? Is that right? You're so cute. You're so soft. Okay. We will pick this up on... What day is it today? Today's Wednesday? Yeah, we'll pick this up on Friday. And we will see what this case has in store for us. All I know so far is that Kazuma fucking kicks ass. He is terrifying as a prosecutor. Yeah. And tomorrow we have more Stardew Valley. So look forward to that, yeah? Yeah. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Come join the Discord server. Tell your friends that we're playing Ace Attorney. Let them know. Spread the word. Because I can only spread the word so much on Twitter. Especially because Twitter probably, like, suppresses me. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Come here, Zoe. Fine. Why? I only grabbed you once. Alright, bye.